What does it really mean to be an alpha male? We always hear that term alpha, but what does that actually mean? Hey guys, Mr. C, silverfox. So what does it mean to actually be an alpha? We get this image presented in the media that an alpha is either this asshole, toxic, masculine prick, doesn't give a shit about anybody. Personally, I don't really think that's the most alpha that you can be. I think being alpha definitely involves having your shit together, but having a balance of masculine and feminine energy. Not a 50-50 balance, maybe 90 or 80-20. There was studies done by social scientists that studied gorillas and discovered that the most successful alpha in the gorilla pack was not the most typical masculine, macho. He actually had an extremely high level of emotional intelligence, because when the leader gorilla was extremely aggressive and had no emotional intelligence, eventually 2 or 3 or 4 of the, I guess you could say, betas, or the lower on the packs, would gang up and tear him apart, literally, physically destroy the alpha, and then he would be either outcast or dead, and then it would continue on. But the most successful leaders of the pack had a significant amount of emotional intelligence, because they had to be able to understand how to lead in a masculine way, but how also to meet others in their own places of emotional need. They needed to understand empathy and compassion for others in the group and how to bring them on board. And so my own opinion of what is alpha is that it involves that. Yes, alpha involves typically masculine skills. You have to be very, or characteristics, you have to be very fearless, courageous, bold. You have to have your shit together, be a good communicator, not care what other people think of you. So you have to overcome that addiction to other people's validation of you. Those would be really good places to start. But you have to also learn what feminine energy is, how feminine energy works. And part of that is learning how to empathize and have compassion with women. To not simply use women and judge them for being different from you as a man, but to actually understand what's her experience like as a woman. And when you do that, 2 things are going to happen. One, you're going to be able to charm women and create romance and fire with a woman in a completely different way, because you're going to actually understand what she needs to create fire. You're not just going to simply try and force her or trick her or get her drunk. You're going to actually understand how to make her crave you far more than you crave her. You actually just literally set her on fire, sexually and emotionally. And when you do that with a woman, of course she's going to want to have things with you. But part of that is just actually learning how women work, how emotions work, how communication works, how conflict resolution works. And those are typically more feminine skills, learning how to be more nurturing, learning how to connect on an emotional level, learning how to empathize. Those are feminine qualities. So that's why ideally you want to try and strike a balance of maybe 80% masculine, 20% feminine, because you don't want to crucify your feminine side. We've had students in the past. I remember one that we had with Tusk from Iceland, I think he was, or from Norway or something. And the guy was literally a Viking. He was a caveman Viking. And he was like masculinity off the charts, but he just had zero ability to connect with women. I mean, he could meet women and fuck them for a one-night stand, because women would be really turned on by how much of a ballsy hard ass he was. But that doesn't work after the first, couple dates with a girl, because she wants to actually connect with you in some way. And if you're just like a rock, it doesn't work to build a connection with. And I remember him asking, well, how can I be more charming with women? And I said, well, okay, first thing, let's teach you how to just even compliment women and make them feel good about themselves, in basic charming 101. And he'd met this girl, and I said, okay, you know, send her a text and say something complimentary about something you liked about her. What did you like about her? Well, I liked her hair. So I said, oh, okay, well, you know, send her something about that. Tell her you liked her hair and why. And he said, hey, it was nice to meet you. I liked your hair. It was very black. And I looked at the text, I was like, okay, not exactly what I was looking for, not exactly charming. You want to have a little bit more of an emotional connection and impact on that. But the point is, if you don't understand emotions, you're not going to be able to understand what you feel, and you're certainly not going to be able to make her feel what you feel about her, which is what charming and romance is all about. And so, yeah, I would say the most alpha guy out there is 80% masculine, 20% feminine, because he really understands how women work. And that only works when you can actually enter in and have empathy and understand all that. And then that really comes out when you want to actually have a relationship with a woman. I mean, maybe you want for a year or two to just go around and have lots of different experiences, but in my own experience, when you get to that point where you want to go deeper with one girl, if you don't have the ability to feel and to communicate your feelings and to open up and be vulnerable when you want to be and with who you want to be, so you still have control over your vulnerability, but you have the ability to open it up when you want. If you can't offer that to a woman, then you're certainly not going to be able to keep her satisfied, especially a very feminine Latina woman. They need a lot of emotional energy. It's literally like a currency or a form of food to them. And if you can't feel and you can't make her feel what you're feeling, there's a substantial part of your relationship that you're just never going to be able to keep her satisfied in. So definitely something that you want to address and learn, and that is exactly what we cover in the Upper Tier Dating Club. We teach guys how to become more holistic men so you can have much more success in your romantic life, your sex life, your love life, and with that special someone when you decide that you want to go deeper with them. So check it out. The link's in the description below.